Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the man, myth, the legend, someone we call the Lumberjack. How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing super awesome. It's Tuesday. I'm still working after this, but somebody's got to, Michael.
There you go. There you go. I don't know if you saw it this morning, but the CPI report came in. It came in pretty much across the board, hotter than expected. I've done 2 live streams on it already this morning because it was so bad. It was bad and actually looks worse than expected. As you know, we've been releasing 1 million barrels of oil or gasoline for every day or whatever it is. And it really dropped gasoline 81 days, 82 days in a row. Awesome. Gasoline was down 10.6%, I believe. And we still got a hot reading.
I mean, so, it's
crazy.
A buck and a half. And it's still a buck and a half more than it was last year.
Yeah,
like, let's not take a victory lap on the fact that gas is not 5 1/4 or 5.50.
Yeah, it's 4. Yay!
It still sucks. Gas is still outrageously overpriced. Heating oil is as well.
And now we're going into winter.
Of course.
And we need to replenish the reserve.
No, we wouldn't want to do that.
No, of course not.
Not while this group of people is running things. That's not going to happen.
And again, it was so bad. I mean, we hit one of the numbers in headline. Yeah. This should freak people out. Was the worst since 1979. That should not make you feel good.
Was that what number was
food?
That?
Food.
Food, yeah.
11.6, I think, or 11.2. Bad. Worse since 79. Rents inside core, 6.2. Going up, but still not done. That's the problem with rent. That's why I keep screaming core. And oh, by the way, I'm going to take a victory lap again. I'm going to do this a lot today. Nailed it. That's all I got to say. Yeah, it's crazy.
It's nuts. It's nuts. Now it's even funnier. The people that were calling for 40 and 50% crash are now calling for a 70% crash.
Yeah, exactly. Tomorrow.
Crash now. It's like, oh, just stop.
Just stop.
Stop.
Well, what with all of this, what the topic of this video is, and the title is going to be, does the Fed go nuclear? What do I mean by nuclear? So let's be very clear. Coming out of this morning's print, 50 basis points is off the table. 75 basis points, interestingly enough, move only 1%. It went from 80 to 81. 100 basis point move, which I'm now referring to in this video, is nuclear, right? Something they haven't done yet. Do they have to go 100 basis point next week? What do you think?
I hope they do, but I don't think they have the nuts. I think they do 75. I think that the market is still a little bit upset about 75. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're creating some demand destruction. They need to create a lot of demand destruction.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the way to do it. I think that, listen, everybody, Mike, you've seen the tenor change in the last 4 or 5 months. I don't know if you have. I certainly have. People are miserable.
Yeah.
People are miserable. It's like stop watching crash videos and
start doing
something about it. But yeah, I think that they definitely 75. I hope they do 100. And Mike, imagine what happens at 100.
Yeah. So I guess I'll answer the question here and we'll talk about it more. It's actually this, I was going to say Jerome Powell doesn't have the stones to do 100. I want him to. I wish he would. Let's be very clear. The reason this video exists is because I want to put it out in the world and hope karma takes over and they do 100. You just never know. You got to put it out there to see what happens.
Something more powerful than karma. The YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. The YouTube power. Jerome Powell is going to see this video. But I think actually a more interesting conversation is, because it seems like we both agree they're going 75.
Yeah.
What I think is more interesting, because heading into this, I was calling for 75, 50, 25, right? We have 3 Fed meetings left, which would take us to 3.75 to 4. I now, as of this print, are upping that.
Yep.
I think without question, we get to 4. And dude, there's an outside chance we get to 4 1/4. That would mean 75, 75, 75. Think about that for a minute.
Yeah. I think April, I called that 7% rates were possible this year.
Dude, we might see them this month.
Yeah, it's possible. It's so there's always that big bump, right? And then there's so I talked to my bank and they
Dude,
said,
big bump. You haven't looked at any of this stuff. The 10-year note's at 3.43. It's up 7/10.
yeah, it's a big bump.
Yo, yeah. Just so we know, the cycle peak was 3.49. I mean, we are like knocking on the door.
And I was talking to the bank, and the bank said we're not fixing rates anymore on debt. So we're not fixing rates anymore. They said you get locked in 3 days before you close.
Yeah, I've heard a week. Yeah, so 5 days.
3 days?
Yeah, exactly.
What? Nuts. I literally said to them, I go, that's fine. Then we just can't do deals with you. They're like, what do you mean? I go, if it's up 1.5 points and I negotiated a price based on 1.5 points lower, the numbers no longer work for my 20% return. So Mike, I'm probably closing these deals that I did get locked.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably not going to do anything for a while.
That's exactly this. This is what's happening, folks. Again, this is why, how do I say this? I'm afraid for the masses, but excited for myself.
Yep.
Because I do the work every day. I did a whole video this morning at 7 a.m. basically ranting and trying to kick people to do the work, saying that the most amazing time is coming. But we've got to get through the pain, right? This winter is going to be complete hibernation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Altos Research. Altos Research is an amazing YouTube channel. I love his stuff. I consume his. It's like one of the few channels I watch because he's data driven. It just speaks to me. He did a video yesterday that actually Matt, the mortgage guy, sent me that kind of ticked me off a little bit.
Uh-oh.
He basically opened the video by saying, hey, we got it wrong. Inventory is down week on week. Nobody called it. I'm like, excuse me, 1 minute here. That's not true. This guy over here kind of looked at the daisy chain together saying, dude, we're going to end up the year with lower inventory. And oh, by the way, middle of September is when it happens. So.
Geez, I wonder what the thumbnail for this is going to be.
Yeah, you bet your ass you know what the thumbnail is going to be. It's this again. What is coming is predictable. Now, the scale and scope we don't know. The housing market is done until March.
Yep.
You're going to get more and more sellers because as rates go higher, inventory comes off. It's ass backwards from normal environment, but it is where we are.
Yeah.
And demand, oh, by the way, rates go up, demand falls. So what you and I should be looking at going forward is once you get through, again, I'm going to say it, Thanksgiving to New Year's, people that are trying to sell Thanksgiving to New Year's, do you think there's any motivation there? No, none at all. None at all. Come on. Dude, do the work. Look, if you are an investor, right? Take care of yourself, micro, your job, get close to revenue, don't buy dumb shit, stack cash like we've been telling you for 6-9 months.
A year, Mike.
But do the freaking work.
Yeah. Mike, look at your paperwork when you started your refis.
Oh yeah, it's been 12 months.
It's over a year.
That took 6 months. You guys don't understand how long it takes to refi all these things.
I started in May of 21. That's when I started refi. Was May of 21.
I was close to that, yeah.
And I got my first 9 done. I think it was August, September, and then I started right away on my next 10. Yeah. After I got them to, and then I mixed in another bundle of 3 underneath that. So we've been telling people for over a year. Now that's fine if you didn't move, like whatever, fine. But for all the people, Mike, every single video you post, everybody's just waiting and laughing. I'm like, you guys are idiots. You're gonna fail. You're gonna lose. You don't know how to read a balance sheet, my man.
Yeah, you know what's really crazy? This is wild. We borrowed 30-year money.
Yeah.
So again, I want people to hear this. I told you, I walked you guys through this. I have an office building and an apartment and several multifamily apartments. Yes. I worked with Velocity Mortgage to get 30-year debt at 3.99%. 30-year debt, which is not normal. You don't usually get, because usually you get 25-year AMs, you get 5 or 7 years, blah, blah, blah. So again, I did it.
Yep.
Now that money is sitting in account, correct? Because I did cash out refis also. And the 2-year notes, 3.63 or something a day? They basically are paying me, right? So it's just, yeah, I am so excited for what's coming. I do the work every day. If I do 2 or 3 deals in the next 18 months, we'll be ecstatic. It's
Like 2 or 3 in the next 18 months.
I mean, I don't want to get it, again, so to be clear, I don't have to do any.
No, I know, but I mean, we're to the point now too. We don't have to do any either, and we're just like, like whatever.
Yeah.
But I will still, Mike. I'm having to adjust. This is obnoxious. Full disclaimer: this is an obnoxious thing to say. I am literally having to move the needle up to say, if it doesn't make 25%, I'm not interested.
That's the key. I keep telling people, right? You're just an extreme example. Once you do a deal in the environment we are in today, and until otherwise notified, right? This might be years, folks.
Yeah.
I want your next deal to be better than the first one.
Yes.
That is without question, because you and I don't know where the bottom is.
No
Black
idea.
Swan events and blah, blah, blah. So
Sure.
again, right, you would do a deal, like for me, I'll do a deal at 9. Then I'm going to do one at 11. Then I'm going to do one at 13. So I'm just going to keep grinding and get them better and better and better. And we'll see what happens. So it's going to be
Mike, what happens when your tenants can't pay because the economy's so bad?
That's when you have diversification, all those other things.
And this is what I keep on telling people. It's like, do you think that I can't find a tenant forever? Do you like, all I literally have to do is, if I have a wave of people that are, market rents, the worst thing that I would have to do is go, I guess we have to give Section 8 10 units.
Yeah. Yeah. Section 8's got a waiting list in my.
And they're full tomorrow. My Section 8 has an 8-year waiting list to get on Section 8. And they have hundreds of unused vouchers.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
And they expire in a year. At least they do in California.
Exactly. They do here too. They expire in 12 months. So they have a year to find a place. So the question that I always get posed with is, what happens when all your renters can't pay their rent? Well, all of them aren't going to lose.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
It's not going to happen. Even if it's 10%, call it 15%. Let's get nutty. It's 15%. Let's say it's 15% unemployment. Okay. So 15% of my units, maybe it impacts 20% of my units. And I go, hi, yeah, Section 8. Yep. Yeah, I've got 20 units for you. Yeah. Can you fill them this month? Sure. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, they'll be ready for you.
Yeah.
That's how that call goes.
Yeah. So again, this video is about the Fed going nuclear. You and I both want them to, but also do not think they have the stones. Nope. But we do agree that the rate at the end of December is higher than it would be otherwise this report. So,
oh, heck yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. Again, lots of ripples. Do the work. Where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram, and also live streams Sunday morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time.
Awesome, buddy. Thanks again.